This is Racing to Win, your twice weekly preview show of Hong Kong racing. We've got a mega day of racing coming up at Sha Tin, 11 race program with two Group 3 races, the Chinese Club Challenge Cup coming up later on in the day, and of course the Bauhinia Sprint Trophy with just a field of 6. Welcome to the show. I'm Tom Wood, joined in the studio by Paul Ellie and Nick Child. Nick, Happy New Year to you. 11 races coming up at Sha Tin.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you as well, Tom, and all the viewers, of course. And really looking forward to it. An 11-race programme, a couple of Group 3s. And well, there aren't too many opportunities for these 1,000-metre sprinters at this sort of level. But this meeting provides one of them. And a small field, but a very good race it is.
Indeed, it certainly is. Paul, hello to you. Happy New Year. The boffins behind the scene have been working hard in terms of some big jackpots.
Yeah, a couple of really good jackpots to talk about. 10 million going into the triple trio, so that should get over the 18 million mark, and 3.8 going into the 6-up win bonus. That should get over the 10 million mark. So a couple of really good ones there.
So there's plenty of cash floating around at Sha Tin for our Wednesday fixture. But of course, earlier in the week we had, last week on Racing to Win, we had the year in review for year 2024 part 1. We can bring you part 2 now as we look at the second half of 2024.
Romance has now got the upper hand. 200 metres left to go. He's cleared out, running on. His Massive Sovereign down the outside. Last City Blanche, and then came 5G Patch Senor Toba. But it's this globe-trotting equine superstar in the Godolphin Blue, Rebels Romance.
Yeah, he's done it really well. You know, you always respect the local horses here in Hong Kong. And obviously, you know, he had to travel over here and everything else, so the team had done a great job with him. I thought he looked magnificent beforehand, like he always does, and he's a real international superstar.
Starting to sprint out as Romantic Warrior. Namur running on Soul Rush. It's still Romantic Warrior. Romantic Warrior, he's hanging on. Oh, he's a star. Romantic Warrior takes out another Group 1.
This year's champion jockey is Zach Pruden. Well, now it's time to present to our champion trainer, and the winner is Francis Lloyd. For the first time in his career, Francis Lloyd has been crowned champion trainer following his 70-win season.
Horse of the year, the winner is Romantic Warrior.
Let's give a huge warm round of applause to welcome Golden 60, the hero in many, many racing fans' hearts.
It is Aurora Lady who is off and gone here, and so too is Barcelona with the 2024 IJC. What a win!
Delighted to put my name beside this strong jockey who won the competition before me.
Giavolotto has run past them all, 2 over Stellenbosch, and getting home well due by honour. What a ride, Oisin Murphy. Giavolotto won the bars.
He got checked turning into the straight, and often you don't get going again. But how powerful was he late, and well done to Team Marco Botti. It was a great plan coming here, and they did an incredible job preparing him.
It's Ka Ying Rising in front. He's too clear. Ka Ying Rising, he'll win it. Ka Ying Rising has beaten Omi, the Helios Express, also Tono Rave.
The win was better than what it looks. He jumped something in the straight as well, and it took his mind off it, but you know, he's a special horse.
It's Voyage Bubble, the leader. He's 3 in front over Beauty Eternal, Soul Rush and Beauty Joy. Voyage Bubble's going to see it out, and he's going to be the king of the mile.
He's a fair dinkum one, and he just gives us all, you know, and
very big heart. He's very uncomplicated, puts himself in the race, which it's great for Hong Kong. They're dominating. Let's go, one more.
That's the Warrior, Romantic Warrior, 2 on Liberty Island. It's history at Sha Tin. 3 cups.
Unbelievable. So goddamn proud of this horse. He's just been a remarkable effort by Danny and his team. And the Japanese put it to him, but with no luck. He's the best.
Some of the highlights there of the calendar year 2024 in terms of Hong Kong racing. Paul, out of all of those moments and the ones we saw the other day on Racing to Win, what was your ultimate highlight?
The Kaying Rising, when he broke the track record, Sacred Kingdom's record. Look, he was just waving to the crowd halfway down, and Zach was pointing there, and he just won it so easily. Look, he went in as a real hot favourite and ran and won the international mile, and looking forward to seeing what he can do next calendar year. Obviously, I think 19th of January, the next time we're going to see him in a 1,200 metres, and then they're going to step him up to 14, I understand. They're not going to have a crack at the 4-year-old series.
Yeah, so they've ruled out, David Hayes has ruled out the 1,600 metres, the 4-year-old classic mile for Kaying Rising. How about your ultimate highlight, Nick?
Yeah, look, do you know, I've always been a massive fan of Golden 60, but the day Romantic Warrior won this Hong Kong Cup was extremely special. To quote James McDonald, he said it felt as if he was lining up to take the winning kick for the All Blacks. It was a pinch me moment. Well, I think it was for all of us that were there, Tom, as well. And look, he's an incredibly special horse, isn't he? He's now broken records and continues to do so. And what's so great about him is that he goes off travelling too. And that win that day was extremely special. That was a bit like when Golden 60 won. You know, it was sort of to say that you were there, I think was quite special for everyone. So wonderful horse. And yeah, it was a magical day, that, seeing him win a 3rd one.
Yeah, and we can't wait to see what he does over in the Middle East. Of course, he's over there now preparing for, of course, a tilt maybe at the Saudi Cup, and then, of course, heading back to Dubai for either the World Cup or the Dubai Turf over there over the 1,800 metres. So that's the season, the year in review, I should say, for 2024. As we move on to 2025, and the first meeting is coming up at Sha Tin. New Year's Day, a big 11-race card with the features highlighted here on Racing to Win. The Bauhinia Sprint Trophy, race number 4, 2 o'clock and 10 past 4 for race 8, the Chinese Club Challenge Cup over the 1,400 metres. Let's have a look at the first of them, and it is the Group 3 down the straight. Just a small field of 6 here. How Deep Is Your Love? He's coming back from the sprint where he was beaten 3 3/4 behind Kaying Rising. Beauty Waves, he's a Group 3 winner down the straight of the National Day Cup earlier on in the season. Magic Control lit up the straight course in a recent barrier trial. WizKid was the winner of this race last season for Harry Bentley, who's back aboard. Harmony and Blessed, and down at the bottom, Awesome Treasure, who's 19 pounds out of the handicap for David Hayes and Keith Young, off a rating of 68 in the Group 3. Paul, the pace should be pretty genuine, but Magic Control, you'd say, would be up at the pointy end here. Yeah, look, WizKid used to lead all the time, didn't he? But Magic Control led in that recent trial and sort of just kept going. So I expect him to lead. He didn't lead last time. I think Nervous Witness was in the race, but this time there's no Nervous Witness. Harmony and Blessed has got speed, we know that as well, so he won't be far away. Then Awesome Treasure, How Deep Is Your Love? They're the ones that'll be at the back, and Beauty Waves, I think, will just sit in behind them. So that is the speed map for the Bauhinia Sprint Trophy. Let's have a look at some of the horses that have won this in the past. I mentioned, of course, Nick, WizKid from last year. He's back for another crack, but speedy horses like Sight Success, Master 8 have also won this race. Yeah, Master 8, he was a good horse early on in his career, wasn't he? Sort of tapered off a little bit, sadly for him, but no, he was good that day when winning. Explosive Witness, he still raced on into some of his sort of veteran years, didn't he, Explosive Witness? And WizKid, of course, back for another crack. So it certainly suits those out-and-out sprinters there, Paul. Yeah, it definitely does. And the Magic Control sort of fits into that band, as does Beauty Waves. They're up and coming. Yep, they certainly do. Well, let's hear from Matthew Chadwick. He's built up a real tough association here with Magic Control, and he's lining up from the Cody Moe stable. Matthew Chadwick, we've got a double header of Group 3s coming up, and you've got a very nice ride in the Bauhinia Sprint Trophy in the shape of Magic Controller, a horse who you've got a decent affinity with now, and he's certainly improving very quickly, isn't he?
Yes, he came to Cody's quite worked up and quite hot and sweaty. Cody's got him going really well. He seemed to improve every run, and he's going well.
You've had a decent bit to do with this horse, Matt. I mean, what have you seen the improvement in him, and sort of what attribute from this horse now that he has managed to put a couple of wins on the board and he's lining up in a Group 3?
As just said, he first came over a bit hot and sweaty. He was quite lightly framed. He's calmed down a fair bit. Cody's done a really good job with that, and he's put on some weight and he's strengthened up. So as long as he keeps improving mentally and physically, he'll come out good.
He's got some handy format in the book now. I mean, he beat Wonderbar last time out. We know he's a fairly decent horse, so he's certainly doing all the right things, isn't he now?
Yeah, he's been putting his best foot forward every single run. He beat Wonderbar last time, probably over his better distance, so over our better distance. So as long as he comes out and comes out off his last trial similar, then he should be running a good race again.
The trial, I wanted to ask you about the trial. I mean, it looked impressive. I mean, for a horse like him, obviously a lot of natural speed. He seems to go through the gears quite easily, doesn't he?
Well, he's been improving, as I said, physically and mentally really well. So his last trial was his best so far. So if he can improve off that, then who knows? We'll see what happens.
Indeed. And just finally, I mean, to many it might seem quite simple. They're racing in a straight line over 1,000 metres, but a small field. Does it get in any way sort of tactical? How do you sort of read the race on paper at this stage?
Oh, we're just going to ride him to his best suit him, where he's nice and smooth. A lot would depend on down the straight where the headwind is running. If there's a head or tailwind, then that'll take into account. But we'll just run him to his attributes, and we'll let the race run itself.
He arrived here, Paul, with the good sound form from Australia when he was Archo Nacho. He was a Group 3 and a listed winner over there. So he's got a bit of a pull here in the weights on Beauty Waves. Do you think he can get it done here?
Yeah, I think he can, especially on the back of that trial. Look, he was just so impressive in that trial. And he's going nice, and he seems to be a course specialist, isn't he? He does like that straight 1,000.
Yeah, look, he's getting £6, as you say, from Beauty Waves. Look, I don't think there's a huge amount of advantage in receiving that weight. Beauty Waves has got those runs on the board, but look, Magic Control's a very good horse.
He ran 56.7 down the straight, of course, it did Magic Control. Let's go back to International Day and to highlight How Deep Is Your Love and Beauty Waves. Now, How Deep Is Your Love ran 5th. I thought he ran a pretty sound race here, Nick, and they've opted for a jockey change on Beauty Waves. There was quite a lengthy extract in the steward's report about the ride here, and I still thought there was a lot to like about his effort.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look at him. He's all dressed up and nowhere to go at one stage. He's had to duck down to the inside, and he's kept on really strongly. Now, you can see How Deep Is Your Love, all orange colours predominantly there. He's sort of got first run on him, but just watch them as they get close to the line. There's not a great deal between them here, in fairness. I don't think there will be here either. And Beauty Waves, well, he's a very smart horse.
No, he definitely is. And look, he didn't get the rub of the green there, but in the smaller field, he should be fine. And he's trialled well since. How Deep Is Your Love? I just wonder about the 1,000 for him. I prefer Beauty Waves over 1,000.
I was going to ask you about the 1,000 metres. So you think Beauty Waves has got the wood potentially here on How Deep Is Your Love at this sort of course and distance?
Yeah, he does. I think because, look, the one thing about How Deep Is Your Love is he can be slow away. And just over that 1,000 metres, that'll give Beauty Waves a chance to get first run on him, I think, in this.
His run, Nick, in the Jockey Club Sprint, How Deep Is Your Love, was very good, home in 21.86 that day.
It was, yeah. No, look, and he's a decent horse, this. I mean, make no bones about it. 5-time winner. He's done a lot in a short space of time. I mean, if they're ever going to try this sort of race, this is probably the ideal race, small field here.
Let's look at Zach Purton and what a week he has had. Of course, 6 winners Wednesday night, Happy Valley. Nick, 3 at the weekend, taking him to 1,800. So that means he's only 14 off the record now of Douglas White. Yeah, look, he's made giant strides into it, hasn't he? Big inroads for sure. And he's got Go, Go, Go there in the first Island Breezes. I thought interesting ride that, Zach getting on board him. How Deep Is Your Love, of course. Dragon Joy is a definite chance. You and Long Elite, Paul, I know you're relatively sweet on him. Yeah, I quite like him. I thought he was unlucky last time. Legends and Pools I like as well, and Storming Dragon, and Voyage Samurai is going to be one of the favourites in the last. OK, so again, a pretty strong book of rides for one Zach Purton. Selections, Paul, for the first of the Group 3s. Yeah, around the top 4, 3, 2, 1, 4 were the numbers I ended up with. I thought Magic Control with that little weight pool can beat Beauty Waves, How Deep Is Your Love finishing off strongly, and last year's winner WizKid, 3, 2, 1, 4. Yeah, also with these top 4 numbers, I think Beauty Waves the one to be with here. He's got the runs on the board, as it were, and Magic Control I think can give him most things. I put How Deep Is Your Love in because he's a very classy horse, and WizKid won this race 12 months ago. If he can bounce back, he's a chance. 2, 3, 1, 4. Those are the selections for the Group 3 Bauhinia Sprint Trophy set down for race number 4. Plenty still to come here on Racing to Win. We go into the last run reminder, a very unlucky horse last time out featuring in that. We've got the preview of the Chinese Club Challenge Cup. All the best bets coming up here on the show. Welcome back to Racing to Win, a preview, of course, for the Lucky Start race day, the first meeting of 2025. But before we get into the second of the Group 3s, Paul, the last run reminder. He was flying last start, but he didn't have a great deal of luck.
No, he had no luck whatsoever, did he? And he was held up sort of around the 400-metre mark all the way through. You'll see this in the straight now where he was looking for a gap and it just didn't come for Vincent. Looked at the inside and you can see he hasn't even moved on the horse at this stage. And he's still well back. He's almost last there. And again, he's just biding his time, looking for that gap. And then suddenly the gap arrives and you can see him on the inside there making up really late ground. But the bird had flown at this stage, finished off strongly. So he looks like he's a big chance coming up as well.
I mean, I totally agree, Paul. I mean, he's literally got nowhere to go, not just on one occasion, but on a couple of occasions here. And interesting enough, just keep your eyes on the winner, Zach Purton Pinkslee's inside. He's almost gone for the same sort of run, but he's got first run on him. So if he was able to have got out that little bit sooner, I just wonder how much closer they would have been at the finish. But no, look, really taking run, and yeah, he certainly is one to note, I think.
So here's race 7, horse number 5, Flying Luck for Casper Fownes, who of course did have a bit of a quiet month of December. Let's go and have a look at the second of the Group 3s, the Chinese Club Challenge Cup over the 1400 metres, and California Spangle up in Tributi Joy coming back from a mile, so too Red Line. Taj Dragon, this is his preferred course and distance, and he, of course, won this race last season. Healthy Happy, he's lined up in the last 3 editions of this race. Patch of Theta, a last start winner. And you've got Dromberg Banner, who enjoys 1400 metres. Chu Chow Spirit, Green and White, was 5th last time out. Tomodachi Kokoro and Fantastic Treasure is second up into this, Paul. California Spangle, the likely leader over Healthy Happy?
Yeah, I think so. Look, he's crossed Healthy Happy just about every time they've met each other, so I've got no doubt he'll cross Healthy Happy. The query's Dromberg Banner. He's drawn the outside, and look, he's a sort of a one-dimensional horse that likes to lead, so how much petrol is he going to use up, and will Tomodachi Kokoro make it hard for him to cross? So that's the query I had, because I'm pretty sure Spangle will lead. It's just, can Dromberg Banner get outside him? That's the question I've got.
And it's always been a good horse's race. Nick, you've got Lucky Swain S on the honours board to here, even Golden 60 going back a few years now.
Yeah, for sure. Look, the great horse winning it back in 2020 there, and Champions Way was winner for John Size, and Karis Teeton, of course, got a nice ride this time in, and Taj Dragon, of course. I mean, what's interesting, Paul, is some of those returning horses, this is their favourite trip.
Yeah, no, definitely. And horses can carry weight in this race. We've seen sometimes earlier in the season, the lightweights always have the advantage, but a couple of those ones like Golden 60, Lucky Sweetness can carry 135.
Well, let's hear from Karis Teeton. He's riding Patch of Theta. I think the key last time out was drawing a gate. Let's hear what Karis has to say.
Karis Teeton, we've got Group 3 action coming up on New Year's Day, and you're riding Patch of Theta in one of those races. A horse that you've ridden before. Lovely pickup ride, this.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Of course, he comes in with that weight, with the top weight being California. That's allowed me to get a chance on him, and I won on him before. Good record on him, so it's be nice to get back on him again.
Yeah, that race you did win on, and that was back last March. He beat Green and White, so he's got some good form even back then, and he really has improved well since, hasn't he?
Yeah, of course. He's always shown that his form always shown that he's got something special, and he's, of course, since I won on him, he's done better and bigger things already. So it's going to be interesting. Of course, he takes on a good feel again, and it's going to be interesting.
Just the type of horse he is, Karis. I mean, there looks to be plenty of pace in the race. I mean, that's probably likely to suit him, isn't it, given his running style?
Yeah, you would think so. Even last time in his trial, he showed a lot of speed, but with those speedy horses in the race, they're going to set the race up, and it's. I think it's just going to work out in one of those horses that's getting lightweight.
I know he didn't trial him recently, but he did win that trial, so Francis clearly has him in tip-top condition for this, doesn't he?
Yeah, sure. He took on the trial pretty good. I've sat on him a few times in the morning, and he's going pretty well. So I think he's, like you say, Francis have him going pretty well at the moment.
you've got a good record on him, obviously 1 from 1, but you've got a good record in the race as well. I mean, look back down through the years, 50-50 in Champions Way. You've won a couple of these.
Yeah, I mean, you can always get lucky in those races because you get on those horses that come in with those good weights, 115, 116. So yeah, it's a good opportunity, and let's hope we can start the new year with a nice win.
Patch of Theatre, of course, out of the stable of Francis Louis. Let's go and have a look at California Spangle, of course, another one coming out of the sprint on the 8th of December. He led them up here, Paul, but they're talking about going back to a mile with this horse because he's just not as competitive as he once was at this sort of trip.
Yeah, no, look, at one stage they were going to keep him to the 1200, weren't they? So plans change, they're always fluid. So looking at back to the mile, look, the 14 probably is a really good distance for this horse. We know he's tough at his best, and he's a multiple Group 1 winner overseas and everything, so he's going to give a really good side, I thought.
Yeah, and not forgetting he's a winner of a Queen Silver Jubilee, of course, over this course and distance, and he is the 5th highest rated horse in Hong Kong. So, I mean, he's all class, this guy. Yeah.
And of course, he's got a good record course and distance, only missed top 4 once. Here we go with the mile now, and we've got Red Lion here. I thought he ran a sound race in this, Nick. Taj Dragon, this is his sort of go 1400 metres, absolutely loves the 1400 metres, and Beauty Joy storming home down the outside.
Yeah, do you know what? Beauty Joy for me is quite an interesting runner. I know he's an 8-year-old, so it probably gets that little bit tougher for him now, but he's a decent horse on his day. For me, I feel this has been the plan for Red Lion for a little while. He's trialled well since Zach's back on, and he absolutely adores this trip, Paul.
Yeah, barrier 9 though. Where's he going to end up with all that pace underneath him? Because he likes to go forward. That's worried me.
Yeah, Zach has a good record aboard him. You got Chu Chow Spirit, Drom Big Banner, another one, Nick, that does enjoy 1400 metres. Drom Big Banner, but is this a little on the rich side for him?
Potentially, yeah. Look, I mean, as you mentioned, and as Paul mentioned when we looked at the speed map, you know, he is a horse who sort of goes out there, wears his heart on his sleeve, leads up, and he's as tough as teak, don't get me wrong, but that sort of Class 2 form, he gets on really well with Andrea, but gate 11 on speed, I can't help but feel this is going to be his toughest task to date.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it, from that outside draw.
With the California Spangle, Paul, pushing so many out of the handicap here, who makes it into the top 4?
Go with Patch of Theatre. He's the up-and-comer, 115 versus California Spangles, 135. So 6 to beat 1, Beauty Joy running on, and Green and White, he's been in great form. 6-1-2-9.
Yeah, also gone Patch of Theatre here. He's a really nice horse that's progressed very well through the ISG sale here in Hong Kong, and I think he's a cracking chance at this. Red Lion, he can certainly run probably his best race over this distance. California Spangle has to go in, and Beauty Joy as well. 6-3-1-2.
HKJC.com, everything there in terms of the race-by-race previews under the audio and video section for the other 9 races coming up on Wednesday. It's time for the best bets. Paul, you are first cab off the rank for 2025.
You've got to go with Zach Pertenmount, race 6, number 3, Yuan Long Elite. Now, he was nowhere near the rail all race. This one, he drew barrier number 11, and he was 3-4 wide, didn't get really a chance at all. And he still ran on. I like the way he finished off. He's got barrier number 4 here. Zach does stick with him, and I think he'll be tough to beat in what looks like not a hard race. As far as the value is, Divas 12, he's drawn barrier 7, can sit behind the pace with the Vincent Howard board. We'll do the play of the day in race 10, a QQP King Miles, Noah Hart, who went well on debut, and the other one there, Lifeline Express.
Yes, best bet for me is race 10, number 10, Lifeline Express. He ran really well last time out. Value, we're going race 5, number 2, Fun Together, drops in grade. Luke Ferrara's noted front-running rider on board him there. And the play, race 7, 4, 5 and 7 for me.
Best bet for me comes up in race number 11. My Wish, it's a good race, that last event. He's one of the few 4-year-olds in it. Mark Newton, the trainer. Valley Shotgun on debut in the first for David Hall and Hugh Bowman. He's race 1, number 6. And the play with the 2, 3 and 5. Void Samurai, Mickley and My Wish in that final event, which is a good quality race to wrap New Year's Day Lucky Start race day. Bauhinia Sprint Trophy, Chinese Club Challenge Cup, 12 o'clock we're live. Polong Cook Cup Sunday, and the January Cup Group 3 coming up next Wednesday at Happy Valley. Nick, the one only group race there for the season.
Yeah, looking forward to it as well. I've been waiting on a horse for this race, Paul. I'll let you know next week.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that. And Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you have a good one.
Yes, Happy New Year. 12:30 for race number 1, Sha Tin for the Lucky Start race day. Join us for all the coverage from midday. Bye-bye.